All right, ladies, you all do a lot of much needed work for communities who really need it. What do you do for your self-care? I have to ask that because I'm big on mental health awareness and just taking time for yourself, especially when we do things that are very rewarding, but also, it's a heavy job, right? So what do you each do for your self-care?
Yasmin, you'll take it first.
Sure. So I have a lot of hobbies. I like to keep myself busy and, things like embroidering or knitting I'm taking up now, just to spend time with myself, listen to music, hopefully do it outside now that the weather's getting a little bit better. I like to spend time outside, journaling, or doing video diaries where I talk to myself and kind of vent, and also have very supportive coworkers and family and friends that I can go to if I ever need it. But I like to explore different things like that to keep myself, well and, not distracted, but doing something that I like, having a balance.
For me is going to the gym, being able to, I'm not a runner, but I do attempt to. And I think my attempt to running is what helped me my brain to sort of focus on me, focus on my breathing, focus on not getting hurt in the treadmill. So that allowed my brain to focus on surviving the moment and not what's happening outside that moment. So that allowed my mind to have a breather. So also I don't stop myself on having a good ice cream or some candy or something that if it's gonna make me, feel good at that moment. I don't think about, the negative, but I think is self-rewarding myself with something sweet help me as well.
Ari?
Well, basically, I have a very supportive husband who I talk to a lot. I have animals. Animals are my love. I love my grandchildren and family too, but I love my dogs. And so spending time with my dogs. To tell you the truth, I'm not perfect on self-care because I'm hyper to begin with, very anxious. It's just who I've been, as my doctor says. Some people are born slugs. You've been born as a racehorse. So I find it very hard to relax. I mean, I can lay around and binge watch TV, but relaxing is hard for me. So breathing, I can't do that. That annoys me. So I'm trying to get better, but I talk a lot, so that gets it out of me.
And as far as what I like to do, I like to hike, I like to travel, and I like to go to concerts. And if I can put all three of those things together and do them at the same time, say travel to Colorado to go to a concert and go hiking, then I am a happy camper. So as long as I can do something like that a few times a year, then I'm good.
All right, that sounds wonderful, ladies. So,
well, what do you do, Cydny?
What do I do?
Self-care?
You know what? So I meditate a lot, and I love arts and crafts, and I create. So I will be painting a mermaid tonight, actually. It's the mermaid from the Mermaid Factory when I went to Hampton a few weeks ago. And so I will be painting my mermaid, painting, drawing. I make waist beads. I get very arts and crafty. And I like to cook too, but I'm big on meditation. I even, I am a Myers-Briggs practitioner, and they have mindfulness piece to that, and that's what I like to focus on based on your MBTI, how you can protect your peace. It's stress management, so I enjoy doing those types of things. So even as a teacher, before COVID hit, I made time for my students to meditate in the classroom.
That's great.
Know how to
excellent
sometimes. So yeah, I'm big on that. I can be talking about anything and I'll bring up self. What are you doing?
It's okay though, because people need to do it and kids need to learn it young. Had I learned all that stuff when I was younger, it would be built into me. I'd have the muscle memory to do it.
Yeah, I think that's all of us, right? Like we do these things when we're older, and we are the people that we needed, when we were younger. Everything was great, but there were some things like I wish we did that when we were younger. So with that, do you all have any volunteer opportunities? So how could people watching, how can people get involved and support what you do?
Well, the first thing you need to do is to go on our website and check out the opportunities, because there's a lot of ways you can volunteer. And then put in online register and get your application in. That kind of starts the process.
What is your
And then if you-
website for those watching?
It's actspwc.org. So www.actspwc.org. actspwc.org. But we have several ways you can volunteer in sexual assault services. Right now, our biggest need, because we're not able to go into the hospitals yet because of COVID, we need volunteers to answer our 24/7 hotline. Those are 12-hour shifts. They're very easy to do. We need people there. And people call sometimes because something has just happened and they want to know their options. So we walk them through their options. We never tell anybody what to do. But we just say, if you want to go to the hospital, this is what it's going to look like, etc. Or we're doing a little education, or somebody's just calling because they're down. There's a lot of reasons why people call. And then we also always need hospital accompaniment volunteers, which means that if somebody decides to go get the forensic exam after a sexual assault, and by the way, in Prince William County, the hospital that typically does that is Centera Northern Virginia Medical Center, the hospital near Potomac Mills, because you can always go to Inova Fairfax or Mary Washington down 95, but in our county, it's Centera. There's generally 1 to 2 hospitals that do that. But when we get the call from the forensic nurse examiner at the hospital, she'll say, hey, we have somebody on the way to the hospital. And, so we go and we sit with them throughout the whole process, which is anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. So we just chit chat with them, get to know them, and just help them pass the time, explain the process, help the nurse. And then we always encourage them to come see us later. And then finally, I always need people to go out, to go to events. We try to go to all the events, many events that happens in the county. Not many have happened for the last year, but we always have a table there again to create awareness and connect victims to our services, so they can either sit at tables, if once they've been through training, they can help me go out and do presentations wherever I need help me go into the schools. So those are pretty much the 3 main ways people can volunteer for us. I mean, does anybody have anything else?
No, I think that's great. The one thing I would let people know is if you're volunteering for the hotline or the hospital, it's not like you're sitting anywhere for 12 hours straight. You can go about your daily life and just take phone calls as they come in.
We have a lot of college kids who go back to school, and they still answer our hotline, because it doesn't matter where they go to school, they can still use their phone.
So is your training now provided online?
Yes, it's all virtual right now.
Awesome.
It's a 40-hour training, so it's a commitment. But our grants require us to train our volunteers that way, since they're going to be around our clients. So yes, there's a lot of training. And so once that application goes online, I am notified, and then I follow up with the client, and they have to go through an interview as well with me. And then we just get them in, and then they go through the training, and they usually bond as a group. And I just love all of our volunteers, because they commit. So
Wonderful.
They also, the volunteer provide us the sexual assault specialist to have that self-care. Once we 9 to 5, we go home, that volunteer who's taking the 6 in the evening to the overnight shift, give us the opportunity for us to sort of regroup again, so we could come back the following day and continue doing our work.
Wonderful, wonderful. Volunteers, they're golden, right? So it's like we all different. There's so many wonderful organizations in Prince William County, but we can't do all the work without our wonderful, committed volunteers, right? So
I don't know what we would do without our volunteers.
Right.
I really don't.
So I hope people watching this will consider signing up and volunteering with you all. And I have one final question. Each of you, if you could share how people watching can get involved and support Sexual Assault Awareness Month?
Well, I would like to go first if I can, because there's one thing I think we've left out today, and this is how people can support, not just for this month, but moving forward. If somebody does disclose to you that they've been sexually assaulted or abused, there are a few things that really need to be said to that person. Number one, you need to ensure that person that it's absolutely not their fault. That is critical. It is not their fault. Let them know that they're not alone. And when I say that, they're not alone in the fact that it happens to so many other people, but that help is available through us. So healing is possible, but you need to get help for that. So those are the, and then of course, another really important thing is that you believe them, because most victims do not come forward because they feel like they're not going to be believed. So that, and if somebody's telling you they've been sexually assaulted or abused, I want everyone to take that to heart. They are telling you because they feel you are going to be responsible and respectful. So that's critical down the road. So that's what I want everyone to take away from this month, that if you find that out, to do those three things. And then offer the resources. Say, hey, I just saw something from ACT Sexual Assault Services. Why don't you give them a call? So,
Angela, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, not only in the April month, but also throughout the year. You know, most people, we provide the service, but our service in also have other services that we also could give our client. So one of the things I like to promote is our strip stores. The strip store service the community, and everything that everyone donate to the strip store stay within ACT. And those services that we could keep them out to our client, that's including, let's say one of my clients may need housing, maybe need emergency assistant, or maybe need food. And we could provide them until they go to the hunger prevention. So the strip store is, and donation also, you know, people to donate to ACT. So our service could continue to be given free to the community.
Yasmin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to what Angela was saying. All of our sessions involve a lot of like creative activities. Sometimes it's better to help someone get comfortable with you know, the sessions themselves, with speaking out by doing activities first, or icebreakers. And so maybe donating art supplies would be very helpful, like canvases, maybe some coloring sheets, some markers, paint, brushes. Anything of the sort would be very helpful, and I'm sure the clients would very much enjoy that.
And lastly, I'd just like to say, I think community members for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, if people can pay attention when we're talking about sexual assault and sexual abuse, can just help yourself be educated. That's the best way to prevent any future abuse from happening. We, ACT Sexual Assault Services offers a class called Darkness to Light. That's for prevention of child sexual abuse. And if people are interested in hosting a session of that, we would be glad to come in and do that for your group. It's a 2-hour session, and you come away with very concrete understanding about the best practices to prevent child sexual abuse from happening.
Thank you so much. And I guess I'll just wrap this up by saying another way we can help is by raising awareness. Wear those teal shirts on April 28th, wear those jeans, take a picture, use our hashtags, which will be following this video. Follow us on social media to find statistics. Let's work together. Use our social media. We may not be able to come together and have a physical event. I hope to next year though, and I said the same thing last year, right, Lydia? But
yes,
you know, mask up, stay socially distanced, get our vaccines, just be safe. You know, hopefully we can do something next year. But right now, we can wear wear your teal shirts, wear your teal ribbons, donate to ACT, and use those hashtags, share statistics on April 28th and beyond, but definitely April 28th, and raise awareness for sexual assault. Let's work together and we can do that. So Yasmin, Angela, Lydia, Terry, thank you so much for sharing this wealth of information. And I cannot thank you enough for what you do. Every time I touch base with your group, I learn something more. And to learn that these numbers, these reports are coming up, what did you say, 25%, I think it was.
Yeah.
What you are doing is, it's not even a job, but your work is of worth. You are appreciated, and what you're doing is very much needed in our community. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm here to support how I can. So with that, we're going to wrap up. Please join us on social media for Denim Day 2021. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Cydny.
Cydny.
you.
Cydny.